The more he kills, the more he transcends.
Well, if that's the case, by the end of this movie, Michael transcended himself to the level of God. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Real Horror. I'm Tensa, and evil dies tonight, along with a shit ton of other people in the follow-up to Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills. I walked out of 2018 feeling very conflicted and unsure of how I felt about the movie. However, I can still remember doing a review the next day and giving it an 8 out of 10.
So that was a fucking lie.
It was one of my first movie reviews, and I honestly think I wanted to like it so bad that I convinced myself that I did like it and went along with the positive consensus. I rectified that last year when I re-reviewed it, giving my honest opinions on what worked and what didn't. If you want to check out that video plus my entire review of the Halloween franchise, you can find the playlist link in the description. So, I decided to go into Halloween Kills with tempered expectations, but excited nonetheless after having to suffer through the long wait, no thanks to the pandemic getting the release postponed for a year. Does Halloween Kills outdo its predecessor and fix the problems I had with 2018? Yes and no, but I had more of a blast during Kills and felt more satisfied walking out of the theater than I did after 2018. I did a double feature of Halloween 1978 and 2018 before seeing this, and I can tell you that it definitely elevated my experience. I'd recommend doing the same if you have the opportunity because there's plenty done in Kills to make them flow together better as one giant story. That was something 2018 lacked, as it never gave me a great vibe that it's a direct sequel to 1978. Kills does an excellent job as the second act in a 3-act structure. Think Empire Strikes Back. No, I'm not saying it's on the level of the best Star Wars movie made, calm down. In terms of ramping up the action, learning new things we didn't before, and being much darker tonally, which carries all the way to the end. Something that I felt that has been missing since 1978 is that sense that Michael is this somehow supernatural boogeyman. Kills feels like one of the first times in a while to bring back that essence. He's this local legend to the residents of Haddonfield, like a ghost story told to freak people out. His actions and elusiveness reflect that of a raging storm, a force of nature that can't be stopped. 2018 kept harping on trying to explain why Michael does what he does, his motivations, and feelings when he murders. That is delved into for most of this movie through conversation, but I believe John Carpenter's true intent for the character is fully realized by the end. The tension that's been missing for much of the Halloween franchise is back in more ways than one. To no one's surprise, this movie is absolutely brutal. Who'd have thought an entry titled Halloween Kills would be relentless when it came to deaths? 2018's whole thing was focusing on the aftermath. A lot, not all, but a lot of the deaths in 2018 were done off-screen and we only got to see the results of Michael's strength. Not here. We see the carnage in all its gory goodness. As someone who loves watching Jason Voorhees with his creative kills, it was awesome to see Michael get his chance to let loose. He can be best described as extremely pissed off. He's been shot, stabbed, sliced, and lit on fire this Halloween night, so now he's just on this warpath to mow down as many people as he can while trying to make it back to his childhood home. James Hugh Courtney may end up being my new favorite Michael Myers. He encapsulates everything I love about Nick Castle's performance, but he is just far more intimidating, ruthless, and scarier. I don't want to spoil any of the kills because you just gotta see the insanity for yourself. If you're a gorehound who enjoys special effects, there's plenty to love. I don't think this is a spoiler because it's been heavily discussed, mentioned, and even shown in trailers and TV spots, but we get a flashback to the events from 1978 and it is perfect. The attention to detail is unreal as it captures the look and vibe of that night, putting you right back in the original movie. We see how the arrest of Michael that was alluded to in 2018 plays out. It feels completely necessary, not there to only explain how Michael was caught, but also throw in a couple of twists and plot points that become motivations for some characters. Fans who have been looking forward to seeing this are not going to be disappointed because its execution is damn near flawless in my book. As far as characters go, it is a variety pack. There really isn't a singular protagonist whose journey we follow. Instead, it's It's the town of Haddonfield that acts as the main character. It's not Laurie's movie. Hell, it isn't really even Allison's or Karen's. It's the town of Haddonfield's movie as they're reacting to the return of their most infamous citizen. Watching the panic slowly rise to a breaking point where mob mentality rules is fairly nerve-wracking. They don't believe their police force has done enough to protect them. A certain someone realizes this and essentially acts as the leader who rallies the town to take justice into their own hands. They go from being scared to violently angry, jumping to conclusions without proper context or information and acting impulsively, leading to absolute chaos. The hunt for Myers culminates into the perfect storm of rage for an epic finale. It's frighteningly reflective of what we unfortunately see often these days. The hospital becomes the gathering place for these vigilantes, and there's a point where things are frustratingly claustrophobic, and I personally got really fed up with their actions. Kinda makes you root for Michael. So in addition to Laurie, Allison, and Karen, we get the return of several original characters, including Tommy Doyle, Lindsay Wallace, Nurse Chambers, Lonnie Elam, and even Sheriff Brackett. I think everyone does well with what they're given. Laurie was stabbed in 2018, so she's reduced to sitting in the hospital throwing out Loomis-esque Michael exposition. I enjoy Allison and Karen slightly more because they're actually given things to do this time around. We finally get to see them grieve the death of husband/father Ray. Karen is broken and wants to make sure the rest of her family is protected, while Allison is fully ready to get revenge and kill Michael. It's cool to see her go on the hunt, reuniting with Cameron and his dad Lonnie. I think we all hated Cameron, but he redeemed himself in my eyes, being there for Allison when she needed him the most. Anthony Michael Hall was probably one of my favorite characters as Tommy. He's not as traumatized as Laurie, but he's just as hell-bent, if not more so, on making sure Michael is caught and killed. I'd say he had one of my favorite performances along with Robert Longstreet as Lonnie, who makes Tommy's bully likable as an adult. Kyle Richards was pretty good too as Lindsay, one of the few original actors reprising their role from the original. Those were all the things I enjoyed about Kills. So let's get to the things that I didn't like. The humor still doesn't work for me. There's all this mayhem going on between Michael's rampage and the mob's destruction, so I hate to have it undercut by jokes. It's certainly less frequent compared to 2018, but the fact that it's still there bugs me. There are two scenes I can remember where Michael's presence was more of a laughing matter when it should have been holy shit, run, get out. Also, there were some awfully stupid choices characters made when confronting Michael. A couple times I was thinking, why are you doing this? Where were you? What are you doing? It was so odd. And while the thought of bringing back original characters was intriguing to me, not all of them live up to expectations. Mainly Nancy Stevens as Marion Chambers, which is shocking because I thought she was good in Halloween H2O. She has a few lines where I legitimately rolled my eyes. There's also no real explanation as to why she hangs out with Tommy, Lindsay, and Lonnie. Like, why is this older woman hanging out with these slightly younger older people? Some of the dialogue can be clunky and probably unneeded. I like Andy Madchak as Allison, but she has this one reaction moment where I laughed out loud because of her delivery and how it was edited into the scene. And while I praise the amount of blood Michael sheds throughout, I was expecting far more. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of it, but weirdly enough, I still walked out thinking, I think there could have been like 5 to 10 more grisly kills. Finally, I'd say my only mixed opinion is the score. Don't get me wrong, it's good. I mean, I know John Carpenter is back with his son and godson, but I can't tell you any part of it really hit me. For as stupidly brief it was, I'll always remember The Shape Hunts Allison from 2018. I didn't have anything similar to that here. So overall, despite not being perfect with a few issues with the writing and characters, I had an incredibly good time with Halloween Kills. It is hectic slasher fun to its core with a very bleak tone, suspenseful scenes, and genuine shocks. The main trio of girls are semi-downplayed, however it was a good change of pace to see how the entire town of Haddonfield deals with it as opposed to an isolated group of victims. It gets chaotic as well as heartbreaking very fast when there are so many players on the stage. Michael's massacre is plentiful and disturbingly cruel, returning him to boogeyman status. And the long-awaited 1978 flashback is everything die-hard fans could have asked for. I give Halloween Kills 4 halogens out of 5. But let me know your thoughts. Do you prefer this one over the 2018 movie? Thoughts on the 1978 flashback? Is there anything you weren't particularly fond of that I didn't mention? And what was your favorite kill? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow my Twitter and Instagram. Links to those are in the description. I look forward to having discussions with those of you who did see the movie, but let's all be civil here, okay? Until next time, peace.